Dear listeners, supporters, and fellow staff members, we have an important announcement to make. Earlier this week, Fiction, the co-founder of Top Dogs Productions, came to us and informed us that he was going to be stepping down from the Top Dogs team. Now, this came at quite a shock and a surprise for all of us, but this was a very difficult decision for him, and one that was not made lightly. He told us that he wanted to devote more of his time and effort into the pursuit of his book, education, and very own well-being. He said that he'll miss working with all of us, and of course, we'll miss working with him as well. And we wish him all the best in his endeavors. And Fiction, thank you for making the Top Dogs podcast a reality. Have a safe journey and success in all your projects. Have a good day, everyone.
Give me a second. No, I'm just looking at the weather because it's supposed to be getting to... Ooh. I have a chance of snow in Florida. Ooh, the world's ending.
What?
Florida's It is going to be 20 degrees at 8 a.m.
Oh, God.
Yes, and we know that's nothing for you, Stream, but I'm in Florida, all right? It's like you coming down here during summertime. You can't take the heat,
You guys are weak. You guys are weak with snow.
Oh, absolutely, we die. We would die, but you couldn't survive Florida 100-degree weathers.
Nope. I gotta give it to you.
We are built differently.
You're either a fire element or ice element. You cannot be both.
I'm absolute fire. I'm fire, but it matches me.
Nice shot!
Welcome back to Top Dogs. Today we're going to be discussing on a bunch of fun things we do to keep ourselves entertained and keep our brain going for our free times. So today on episode 76, we're going to be talking about interests and hobbies. I'm ArcaDad.
I'm Whiplash Wolf.
And I am KitKlawson.
Now, if you guys have seen the beginning of the video, sadly, Fiction is not going to be part of the team anymore. But we're going to keep on making content, and we wish him the best for his endeavors. So, Kit, why don't you get us started with the question of the week?
Yeah, so I wanted to start out the question of the week this week because, you know, our listeners, they've got some crazy things that they do sometimes too. I asked them, what is a weird or unique hobby that they enjoy doing? We got some responses from Justin the Firewolf Dog. He likes to imagine that he's building a new computer. Our videographer, Sakura, dabbles in face painting. That's interesting. I don't think I would be very good at painting faces or anything, actually. I'm not very artistic.
But you're a chef, aren't you?
Oh yes, I do enjoy creating art in the kitchen. I have so
art
much
comes
fun
in
in
all
the
different
kitchen.
places.
A trick to stick says they keep isopods, which are like the little roly-poly things that you find in your garden, and they create little home environments for these little bugs.
I think it's pretty cool. It's interesting. It's definitely weird and unusual, but I love the uniqueness factor into it. Everybody that does something that is very different and out of the common, it scores a lot of points for me. So being different is a cool thing. Don't fear what people are thinking about your hobbies. Just have fun with it. Doesn't matter what they think.
To be honest, I don't even know what a roly-poly is, so anything like that is interesting to me.
I'll have to look into it because I have no idea.
Roly-polies? Okay. So
yes.
That moment when furries try to figure out roly-polies.
I think she's talking about like those gray little pill bugs.
Yeah, I've never seen them in my life.
You irritate them and then they roll up into a little ball.
I might have seen those. They look like those kind of thing that have like 1,000 legs. Do they look like that? And then they roll up.
Yeah, kinda.
Centipedes, yeah, sorry. Yeah, because in French, the translation is 1,000 legs in French. Centipedes are called 1,000 legs in French. So that's I was like,
to the point.
What's that word again? I forgot.
Hey, it's direct. I like that.
We've heard from our listeners. I want to hear from the two of you. Whiplash, why don't you start us off? Do you have any weird or unique hobbies or interests?
don't really know unless you count cleaning like a weird hobby. Because you already know about my car enthusiasticness, but that's not really weird. That's just expensive. Same thing with being actually, to be fair, same thing with being a furry. It's just weird and expensive.
Solid point.
Is very solid. I actually don't know. Don't really have anything weird. I'm just very OCD about cleanliness, so maybe that, I don't know. I'm not really I don't have anything weird hobbies, just expensive ones.
Well, I can say that you're a very dedicated person in your hobbies, because just to replace a subwoofer and a radio, you took off like almost half of the interior of the car and the dashboard and everything. I'm like, this is insane. Like, the amount of work you put into this, I would have been like, F this, man, I'm not doing it. But you were like, nope, I got to get down to the bottom of this issue and I got to get it working. So that props to you for that.
Appreciate it.
I both have a weird and unique hobby. The weird one, I'll have to go very quick about it because sadly it's not PG-13, but I do own a business where I make fantasy sculptures. I'll keep it at that. And it's really weird to explain to your friends and family what you're doing, so it's always a bit awkward for them, but I've gotten so used to it that it doesn't even bother me anymore. But I think the most unique thing that I do is I'm a paramotor pilot. It's basically that big parachute, which is actually a wing profile, and that big fan on the back. I call it my floating camping chair, because that's literally what you're sitting on. It's quite an interesting hobby. It's very affordable. You don't need a license in the United States in order to do that, though it is highly recommend you go for training for your own safety and the safety of other people around. In Canada, you do need a ULM certification for it, specifically tailored towards paramotors, but it's a very cheap and affordable way to fly. It's about 2 to 3 liters per hours of flight, so less than a gallon per hour. And I got my wing and motor for $4,000 Canadian, which is about 3,000 American, which is an amazing deal. Now, you won't see deals very often. It's usually more expensive, but it's less expensive than a car and certainly less expensive than a plane. And it's amazing.
I don't really have any weird hobbies. I do enjoy cooking. It's really fun to find a picture of something that looks delicious and have no idea what I'm doing, but I just go in the kitchen and I start experimenting. Sometimes it turns out good. Most of the time it turns out good. They haven't all been winners though. I've come up with a few things that definitely have not been repeated.
There's definitely a learning curve into cooking. It requires quite a lot of skill, and I've noticed in cooking there's like 3 domains. There's barbecues, there's cooking, and there's baking. They're all 3 different skill sets, I've noticed. I'm really good with barbecue and baking. My husband is not good at baking, but he's excellent for coming up with meals and dishes that will absolutely blow your mind. If you guys, however, come to my place at some point in the future, if I do a big party, if my husband decides to take on the endeavor of making like a big meal, he's going to spend the whole day in the kitchen, but you guys are going to be like salivating and you're going to be losing your mind over how delicious the stuff he does. It's really cool. I'm grateful for that.
Baking is a different beast entirely. Baking is so much more difficult to me. It's all chemistry.
It's easy for me for some reason. It's super easy.
Yeah, for me too, actually. Like, compared to what you do, baking for me is simple.
I think it's because baking, you have to follow the recipe, right? You follow what the instruction says, you know, cake mix, cookies, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you follow the instruction and you read it multiple times and you follow the cooking is a very important steps as well. If you follow things, it usually comes out all right. So I don't see the struggle. While I feel like cooking is more artistic, now you sprinkle a little bit of salt, a bit of this spice, that spice, you know, the cooking techniques, deglazing and stuff like that. It's like a different skill set. It's more like a painter versus a chemist. Like, they're 2 separate things. It's really interesting.
What about a memorable moment or experience, like relating to your unique interest?
One of my most epic moments, I kind of have two of them, but it was in my training to learn how to fly my paramotor. At one point, we had some clouds in the sky. Now, in theory, you're not supposed to fly through clouds because it reduces visibility both for you and other pilots around. Now, this cloud was really, really small, and I made sure to go around it to make sure that I was safe, and I decided to fly through it. And I almost killed off my engine just to glide right through with minimum amount of noise, and it was amazing. Like, the air is a lot more dense, it's heavy, it feels really fresh though. It was a really magical moment because at one point I just put my hands out, I couldn't see them anymore, so it was kind of scary. It was exciting, it was different. It's really a unique experience to fly through a cloud, and I've been looking for opportunities to do it again, but usually when there's clouds, it's not usually a good condition to fly. The other really epic moment is I have a mountain close to me where I used to live, and you could actually go on a hike and go on top of it. Now, I've decided to take my paramotor and actually fly all the way over there, which is about a 20-25 minute flight. And I went all the way to the top of the mountain, and I could see the people that were hiking. And I'm not even kidding. I got so close, I was a distance from me to the camera or Sakura. Like, this is how close I got to them, and they were just like waving. And as soon as I went on top of them, I just went, and I just went downhill, gaining a lot of speed. It was just like, oh, it was so amazing. It was so exciting. I have it on GoPro. It was so cool. Oh man, I miss it. What about you, Whiplash?
Well, I guess since my OCD cleanliness is apparently weird, we'll go with that then. I get this from my mom. I grew up like vacuuming, cleaning, doing dishes, laundry, dusting, doing yard work, all that stuff since I was like a kid. So it's just ingrained into my brain at this point. I am very particular about how everything is done, how everything is set up, how everything is just done. And in my house, like, I'm the one that cleans. No one else does it because everyone who does it, it's shit to me. That's just the way I see it as. I'm the only one that can do it.
And that was sis, that's the tea.
Just like how the car thing is, like, I will put everything back like it was when it came from the factory because I am very safe and very like memorable when it comes to like how you are with like tinkering and engineering. Like, to me, it's the same way with putting a car back together. I know I can memorize each bolt go to where and then put it back.
Oh yeah.
But you try to remember what I had for breakfast the same day, I won't remember shit.
Yeah, same, dude.
That's just the way it is.
Same. I don't remember. I don't pay attention to that stuff. But like, do you have like moments where you had like issues with your car and you couldn't figure out why the hell it wouldn't work? Like, I don't know, or an engine swap that took you hours and then you actually made it work and actually fixed the thing. Did you have like any epic moment like that?
Not really, because normally I put everything back together like it's supposed to be. I haven't done an engine swap, but I've done a lot of like internal components and like swapping out aftermarket parts for, swapping OEM parts with aftermarket parts, for that more power or better performance or better reliability, methods. Usually I will like look at it, get a clear shot of it, look at the stuff I'm putting onto it and be like, all right, this is how this is going to go, and we're going to do it properly so I don't have to do it again. And usually I've done it almost perfectly every time.
I kind of get you with the whole cleaning stuff because I'm kind of the same. I'm the one that does like the cleaning. I do the cooking currently, but it's because, if I want to be a dad, I want to be able to, cook for my family, not just my husband. But I was raised by my mother who was in the military, and my dad was a police officer. So yeah, the cleaning, I started really early on, and I really absolutely hated it. But when I got my own apartment when I was 19 years old, I was goddamn ready, and my father told me, like, you know what, son, you seems like you know what you're doing. I'm really proud of you. I'm like, you know what, as much as I hated doing that and I got angry at you for doing all those chores and stuff, I actually kind of appreciate, because now I understand what it meant. It's to prepare me for this moment like this. So thank you. I appreciate. And, you know, I was not in a very good term with my dad. That's why I kind of moved out. But after we had this discussion, we really started bonding back together again, and it's been amazing. So yeah, the cooking, the cleaning can be very tedious, but I don't know for you, but when I go, like, I'm decided, like, okay, today I'm cleaning out my garage. I have a lot of stuff. I need to get rid of things. Let's go. And I go into this power cleaning mode, and I get rid of a bunch of stuff, and I fill up my garbage can, and I feel it's so satisfying. Do you feel something like that sometimes when you do a massive cleanup?
Yes, because I've told you already, like, I'm moving in with my friends, and at their house, they're not really the cleanest bunch. So before I have moved in, I've already, like, put myself there, and I have cleaned up the entire living room. I've actually, like, redecorated the entire living room, so it's much better. The bar they have, the kitchen, the bathroom, the hallway, my bedroom that's going to be mine soon. I've legitimately already cleaned everything since I've, like, just been over there at my friend's house, like, spending the nights and such, until I get moved in. Like, it's been quite a bit. You went through probably 10 garbage bags cleaning.
What about you, kid?
Okay,
You have epic moments?
I gotta know. I've been actually cleaning out my late husband's closet that he used, and I have found so many crazy things that we thought had been thrown away years ago, and he's instead just hidden somewhere. Have you found any crazy things while you're cleaning? Like, you move the sofa and there's, like, a shoe.
So, since the house I'm moving into is my best friends I've known for 10 years, and they're also a bunch of furry degenerates, I did find a miniature bad dragon dildo behind the microwave.
Oh my god. That's weird.
Well, Whip, how did you discover your unique interest, or what really drew you to it?
So, cleanliness or being very proper with putting stuff on. I would probably say OCD has caused it, honestly. But also, my mom is also OCD, so I've learned it from her. I feel like it's just passed down in my family, honestly. Compared to, like, a lot of people, I hate dirtiness with a passion. I'm actually even nice nasty, even though I love working on my car and everything. I hate getting greasy for some reason. I hate being sweaty. I hate getting dirt on me, but I like doing it at the same time. And every time I, like, let's say I'm outside cutting the grass when it's summertime, I get all the grass clippings and stuff on my leg, shorts, socks, and whenever I'm just going inside, I'm just peeling off my shirt because it's so sweaty, and I'm just, like, viewing it the entire time as it's just, like, coming off my skin. It just irritates me with a passion.
I'm kind of the same. I'm just like you, man. Every time I have to work on the car, I'm like, oh goddamn, I gotta get my hands dirty again. And then I buy, like, nitrile gloves, but they always freaking break. Like, you remove, you know, it's like when you remove brake pads, there's always that little metal bracket that holds the caliper so it slides the brake pad, and those things are goddamn sharp, so they're always cutting through your goddamn gloves. It irritates the hell out of me. And then your hands get all, like, moist and sweaty. Ugh, I hate it.
Yes, very much so. I hate it with a passion.
Moist.
Moist.
Ladies don't like
also,
that word. Very much.
That was also what I was gonna say. I'm very, like, when it comes to washing my cars, like, I'm very particular with washing my cars, because I will do the interior, like, doing the interior of my car, like, just a normal car wash, not going, like, extreme into it, will still take me about 2.5 hours to clean my interior of my car. Even my Corvette, which is not that big of an interior.
Man,
honestly,
I haven't washed my car in months.
I couldn't do that.
Same. If my car would not be a rust bucket, I would take better care of it, but I've just given up at this point. And, you know, going to the dog park with Jet, who puts literally fur everywhere, you need to learn to let go of certain things, like keeping a house clean. It's literally impossible, because you'll vacuum, like, in the morning, and then at night you'll see freaking, like, fur bunnies, like, in the stairwell in the corner and literally everywhere. So it's a pain, but having a robo vacuum really helps with that. But make sure you get one that is pet rated. And German Shepherd hairs are very long, and they're stiff too, so you need a good vacuum.
How did you get into paramotoring?
I've always been fascinated by aeronautics. I've been ever since I was a kid. My real father that passed away when I was 2, he was doing maintenance on helicopters, and my mom was actually the resupply technician for the inventory stuff and everything. So I've always been around military people, and they had that family event every year where you could actually go onto a Griffon and go for an helicopter ride. And they knew that my mother loved roller coasters, so every time they knew that my mother was on board, they would do those crazy maneuvers with the helicopters, and I've always been fascinated by it. Now, I wanted to get my pilot's license. I wanted to be a pilot in the Army, but I realized how difficult it is. 2% success rate. I'm not a gambler, so I gave up. So I thought maybe I would go into recreational flight where you can have 1 to 2 passengers, but it's very expensive. You need your radio classes. You need to communicate with a radio tower. You can't just go I'm just going to go for a flight for 30 minutes. You can't do that. You need a flight plan. It's expensive. It's $200 an hour to rent a plane. And at one point I found this guy on YouTube called Tucker Gott, Gott, and he's a paramotor pilot, and I saw that and I immediately fell in love with it 4 or 5 years ago. And as a birthday gift, my mom actually purchased a course so that I could learn to be a paramotor pilot, and I've been absolutely loving it ever since.
What really got me into cooking, I love food, and I love good food, and I love to eat good food.
Yes.
But I cannot afford to buy good food all the time. So I had to learn how to make it myself.
Very true.
Very valid.
But really, really nice food is also really expensive. I was going to go broke enjoying all the wonderful deliciousness. And so once I figured out that I actually enjoyed trying to recreate all these dishes from the restaurants I go to, the kitchen became my happy place.
Do you enjoy listening to music and vibing when you're cooking? I love doing that. Makes the whole part a little bit more fun, because I don't really enjoy cooking all that much. It's fine, but I feel like with a good music going on, maybe I make myself a little drink. Sometimes it's it gets me excited.
Yeah, I mean I get in there and I create the good vibes. I feel good. I'm doing what I like to do. It's a part of my world that I am in total control over, and that brings me peace.
Makes a lot of sense.
So what about any misconception that... I'm sorry, I just lost my entire train of thought. My brain stopped working halfway through it. Oh, hold on. Let me restart my head.
Rebooting. Processing.
Are there any misconceptions about your interests that you would like to clarify?
I think a lot of people think that it's very expensive to be a paramotor pilot, but it's actually really not. The course was about $3,000, and the equipment is normally a brand new wing is $6,000. Now, no, this is Canadian money, so take 25% off of that, or 25 to 30%. But a brand new wing is usually about $6,000, and a motor can go anywhere from $5,000 to $16,000 depending on which motor you're getting. I have the most basic motor, but it's the most fuel efficient, and it's very cheap. It doesn't. People think that you need to land and take off at an airport, which you absolutely don't. Any big field you can take off. I actually avoid airports because of planes. We're flying on canvas and Kevlar strings. We're no match towards a plane, so I usually steer away from these guys because it could end up catastrophically. A lot of people think also that do we actually need parachutes, backup parachutes? No, I'm basically flying in one. It's very rare, but only about 25% of pilots, they have a reserve. Now, for my own well-being and just mental state, I would like to buy a reserve parachute, but that's like $1,200, which is not too expensive compared to the rest of the gear. But otherwise, the laws are very open. It's not expensive. It's very freeing. It doesn't take a lot of space in your car. If you have a hitch, you can just make a little platform. You put your paramotor, and the wing is literally a big duffel bag. You just put it in your trunk. I have a Honda Civic, and I carry that stuff around as if it was nothing. I think that's a really fun positive about being a paramotor pilot. I can't vouch enough for this sport. It's amazing. What about you, Whiplash? Misconception about cars and stuff. Can I share? Like, it looks really expensive. How do you get around that?
I mean, you can get around that.
I mean, like, oh, I'm gonna install a new coilover pack, $1,500. Oh, I need to change my turbo, $600. It's like, oh my god, you need to freaking sell a kidney to afford some of these upgrades. How do you plan for that? Because financially, you have to be very strict, right?
Well, here's the thing: is when it comes to my upgrades I do to my car, I don't really go for cheap items because I've learned in the past that you never go for the cheap products because either they will fail fast or they will ride like crap if it's a cheap coilover or blah blah blah, you know, stuff like that. You never really go for anything cheap in your car, otherwise you will feel it and it will absolutely either break your back or it'll make your car run like crap. It just really depends what it is. I cannot tell you how much money I have spent on, not the Corvette because I haven't gotten there yet, but on the daily car I drive at the moment. If I was to count it all up, let's see, okay, I'm going to start and I'll try to run through it as quick as I possibly can. Wheels and tires, that was $3,000. Brakes, $1,500. Coilovers, $1,200. Adjustable tie rods, better camber, blah blah blah, stuff like that, $700. New tail lights, $600. New headlights with LED bulbs, $750. Exhaust system, $1,200. Valve covers, that had to get that done. That was $350 because I gave my friend some money to help me put them on because I did it the first time and didn't go well. So second time I was like, hey, just help me out with this and here's the money. Dual core radiator with electric shroud fan, so that was $450 right there. Air intake system, that was $400 right there. Intake manifold, $840. Bigger throttle body, $300.
Damn,
Hose
it goes quick.
$200. Yeah. What was
could
it?
have bought an entirely
thermostat.
new car for all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but why would you? This car I have, my daily car, which I've shown you guys plenty of times, it's been in my family since 2009. And the bad thing about those cars that if it gets generally, you know, bought by someone who's younger, someone in high school, first car, someone who knows literally shit about cars, they usually get ragged to death. They get cheap crap mods, they sound like crap, they run them to death until connecting rod meets God in the sky. So it's just
connecting rods flying off.
oh yeah, I forgot the subwoofer. The subwoofer, speakers, all that was $1,800. Yeah.
Damn.
I've spent way too much on a car that's worth less than $6,000. So, but hey, whatever. I enjoy the car. Someone hits me, I might just go to prison.
Oh god.
The amount of investment and time as well too. Do you install all these mods yourself, or you just buy them and get them fitted?
90% of them I've done myself. A few of them, like, so I'm not good with electrical like you are, but my best friend who's a master mechanic, he's like an electrical magician. So what I've just done is I will install everything myself, but if it comes to electrical, I'll get him to help me out with that. And I'll just, you know, give him some money because I will look at an electrical thing and I'll be like, all right, what if I screw this up?
On the dash.
What if I screw this up and I immediately blow a fuse or I do something bad, like catch it on fire? So, yeah, when it came to the subwoofer setup, I was like, look, I will run the wires from the front to the back. You just connect it and I will put everything back up. But otherwise, I was like, I ain't going to touch this.
Oh, man.
Oh,
It is
also
a lot of
another
work.
thing too, keeping the car inside and out clean. I don't know how much money I've spent, but I have probably sitting out in my garage at the moment $2,500 worth of cleaning supplies.
Yeah, I guess like buckets, soap, pressure washer, foam cannons, gloves, mittens, and all that stuff, right?
Yes, very much so. A lot of it. Also in a orbital buffer whenever I actually wax the cars, which is like once a year.
Well, you know, yeah. Keep that paint nice and shiny.
People, don't get into cars. It's expensive.
It is. If you suck with money, don't get into cars because you need to manage your finances really, really well. It's expensive. I can't manage my finances. I couldn't get into car stuff.
Soon I'm actually got to do some like mounts for the differential transmission and engine, and that's probably going to cost me another $700. Plus I got to get the windows fixed, which is going to be another $600. My car is just like a bank account that just catches on fire.
Oh my god, yeah. Another weird stuff is I used to be a scuba diver before I became a paramotor pilot, and scuba diving is nice. It's very relaxing, but it's extremely dangerous. Way more dangerous than paramotor flying because you can't see garbage. Like, visibility is really bad. You can't speak. You can't scream for help. And if you get into any sort of trouble, you must always be with the second person, and you need to communicate efficiently underwater. And if you go below a certain depth for a certain amount of time, you need to go do a decompression cycle at 15 feet before you can get up. So even when you have an emergency where you have to get up, fix your stuff, and then go back down for 15, 20 minutes, and then you can go back up. It's such a hassle that when I found about paramotoring, I just sold all my stuff, and I was like, this is way easier, way simpler, cheaper. I don't need a second person to go with. It is a lot of fun when you have a secondary person to fly with because you can do stuff on fields and stuff. It's a beautiful hobby, but I only do it when I'm traveling where they provide the gear. Other than that, here locally, it's not worth it. I sold all my gear. Paramotor's better. I used to be a water Arcanine. I'm a air Arcanine. Yee.
We want to let all of our listeners know that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please hit that notification bell. Be alerted when new episodes are released. Follow us on our audio platforms. Leave us a rating. That will help us out tremendously. Join our Discord and Telegram groups. We have links for these in our link tree down below. Down below.
Calling all of our Top Dogs fans. You want some cool stuff or just want to show us your support? You can by subscribing to our server subscription on Discord or Patreon. Become a podcast supporter today to get exclusive, raw, and uncut footage of your favorite podcast episodes, join supporter meetups, and chat with the podcast team and other podcast supporters. Plus, get access to our brand new After Dogs podcast, an 18-plus podcast during the Top Dogs team members with our $2.99 a month subscription. But wait, there's more. Upgrade to the Podcast Supported Plus and get episode voting, supporter feedback, and be part of the live audience for only $5.99 a month. Plus, get sneak peeks of upcoming ideas, merchandising, and more. You don't have to join these subscriptions, but it does help us out a lot. And for everyone that has subscribed, thank you so much from the bottom of our heart. And if you don't subscribe or follow us on our socials, I think Whiplash is going to threaten you guys. Where is he?
Go follow it. Go follow it. Or else I'm gonna come find your houses. And I'm going to take your cars away. I'm gonna take them away and put them under ransom.
Under ransom? Clean your bedroom or otherwise you're not getting your car back. You filthy animals.
No one wants to see your 13 cans of Diet Dr. Pepper sitting on your computer desk.
And your Dorito bags laid all over the floor. I'm talking to you, Snowy. I know you're not listening to that podcast.
Yeah,
this guy lives on Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Oh god, it sounds like back in the olden days on Modern Warfare 2.
Oh man, souvenirs. Wise words.
Doritos and Mountain Dew, the breakfast of champions.
Until you died.
Yeah. Let me tell you, you can't do this when you're in 30s anymore. You can't do that stuff. Your
your metabolism just comes back at you. It's like, oh, you want to eat delicious bad food? Well, stomach. Boom.
You know that meme where it goes, want to see a magic trick? Nope. There you go. Like that meme from like Team Fortress. I kind of have that in mind.
Want to see a magic trick? Good. Abracadabra!
I like eating good food, but I also like to eat junk food every now and then. And the Doritos and cheese and Mountain Dew, I think I'm definitely going to have to go get some of that today for my day off. And just like, because you've all put it in my head now. It's in there. I'm going to have to satisfy this craving.
I'm hungry right now. I'm so freaking hungry right now.
You have to understand.
I have cheese.
Drinking sugar soda is like the worst thing in existence because you drink one, it's like, I want more. And then it just keeps coming and coming and coming. And then after a while, you drink 7 cans of Mountain Dew and you're just going to feel like you're dying because your heart's boom, 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 boom.
Oh, dude.
Look, that's
It's crazy.
That's why I don't keep those things in
Palpitations.
the house.
I just drink zero. I just drink diet drinks. Diet drinks is all I care about. If it has no sugar in it, I'm happy.
I don't get those sugar cravings when I drink diet. I drink one can, and sometimes I don't even finish it. I'm just done.
Lucky you.
I was pursuing your interests positively impacted other aspects of your lives, or any negative things that have come up because of it.
That's a very tough one, honestly. Pursuing interests positively impacted other aspects. I gotta say that being in the air and just like taking in the scenery and the fresh air, it really, really helps take my mind off daily stresses. I don't think about work. I don't think about the house, the problems, the fixes, the troubles, and everything, drama in the fandom. I completely disconnect. I'm just in the moment. I put some EDM music. I put some Above and Beyond sometimes, and I just join those clouds, man. I'm just out there, and I just appreciate the moment. It's a fantastic feeling. You can't be afraid of heights. I actually love heights. I love standing, like seeing how high up in the air I am. It is a fantastic feeling. It does require a bit of planning when you do stuff. I need to let know my husband, I'm going for a flight. I'm going to be leaving for 2-3 hours, but usually if I plan ahead, it's fine. It does take a bit of planning, but not as bad as scuba diving, which takes a full day. Negative wise, paramotor can be expensive. Just the other day, I forgot to tie my helmet, and it flew off and hit my propeller, and it exploded a $200 wooden propeller, and I decided to replace it with a $544 carbon fiber one, just for the fun of it. Apparently, it performs better. So, yeah, some hobbies can be quite expensive when you crash. I used to do RC cars and stuff and RC helicopters. Those are expensive when you crash. Oh my god, every time you go for a race, you're gonna break something. You just don't know what or when.
I really wouldn't consider my friends hobbies, but to be fair, they do leave a positive impact on me, because anytime I'm with them, I just kind of forget about work and furry drama and just furry fandom and everything like that. I'm enjoying my time with them. But it's the same way with cars. Whenever I'm working on my car, when I got a project to do, I'm like, all right, set my mind on this. And it makes me just happy, because like I'm working on something I enjoy, and I'm wanting to see the progress and wanting to see what this new part will do whenever I'm done with it. Or maybe like if I have like a project inside of cleaning a house or mowing the lawn, I just love seeing the before and after of it.
Yeah.
It gives me motivation to do something like that, just to see the aftermath, and it always makes me happy. Now, just like you with Paramount or paramotors, cars are expensive, and trying to have a nice clean house and clean yard and trying to do anything that's nice is expensive. Because just like cleaning the house, you need all the good equipment, chemicals, vacuum cleaners, which I thought vacuum cleaners were cheap. But now I go to Best Buy, I go to Walmart, and like for a good one's like $250. Like, oh, whatever. I just want my hardwood floor clean and my carpets clean. But same thing with cars. Like, I want nice stuff for my cars, and I pull out my wallet and I cry and I go,
well, at the same time, tools can be expensive, but when you buy the proper tool for the proper job, it makes you save so much time, and it gives you a better quality in your work. Same with cooking, right? Buying a good chef knife that's like $100-$200 makes a huge difference between a knife that you bought for $15. Same thing with vacuums. You can buy cheap $60 vacuums, or you can get the Dyson V20 Pro XTC suck it all. That thing just freaking sucks everything, and it cleans so well. You don't have to do, hey Jet, you don't have to do as much, it makes you, no kissing. God damn it. I don't have my lip tracker anymore, so he has straight access to my mouth, which for some reason he loves doing, I don't know why. But yeah, it's like proper tools really saves you a lot of time. So yeah,
you mentioned
I get you on that point.
mentioned chef's knives. A good sharp knife actually will keep onions from making you cry.
I've heard about that.
A sharper knife
too.
will will make it so onions are not so angry. It's like they haven't realized they've been cut, and so they just stay chill. But a dull
I've been
knife
told that-
makes them angry.
I've been told that if you breathe through your mouth instead of your nose, it's a lot better. And you know, fun fact, I still have my scuba diving goggles. I put them on every time I cut onions. I keep my pair next to my utensils. It works really well. Surprisingly, it works really well. I mean, try it. You'll see. It's really funny. It's an old trick of mine. My mother used to keep a pair of ski goggles, which are not, airtight, but even ski goggles, they actually work. So I always have a pair of ski goggles in my utensils drawer. But I switched recently to my scuba diving mask, and it works even better. It's weird, but it works. Not ashamed.
I was gonna
of it.
say, you're right about like cutlery, because so my dad, I'm actually thinking about going where he works soon, maybe a few months. But where he works at, one of his friends out there, which is another, he works on towboats. He's a pilot for towboats, pretty much, and his friend's also a pilot. And for one Christmas, they gifted my dad or my parents. I can't remember what this name of this cutlery set is, but it was $1,500 for it.
Oh god.
And I have
gold.
never, I'm not sure what it's made out of, like the metal wise or whatever they use. All I know is I have never been able to, like, whenever I go to my parents' house and actually like have steak or have a meal with them, that we use those sets. Like, it's mainly like just knives, like steak knives. But whenever we have steaks, like I can just like put it on the steak and get through it in about 3 slices.
Oh, that's great. That's good tools right there.
Oh yeah, very good. Also the scissors. Oh my god, sharp.
Oh, those are good. I mean, there's something I've realized I didn't talk about. I didn't talk about a lot of hobbies because I'm known to be the guy with 1,000 hobbies. Jack of all trade, master of none. I love 3D printing, and it's really relatable to my first weird hobby as a adult fantasy sculptures maker. I use a lot of different printing techniques, and I learned how to do parametric modeling with Fusion 360. I do artistic modeling with Blender, and I do a bit of both, and I use both like a resin printer and a filament printer depending on which part I'm making. If I need high detail and I don't care about like the resolution, I just want high detail, I'm going to use resin printer. And if I just need to make brackets, suction cups, mold jackets and stuff, I'm going to use my standard filament printer because I don't need details. I just want it to print fast. Now, filament and resin printers are 2 different animals you need to tame. They work very differently, and even in the design process, you have to consider that. That's a fun thing that I really learned. So, and it's something that applies to with avatar creation. I've resculpted this avatar based off my skill I've gained in Blender. If anybody out there, like, you're looking for a fun hobby to start and you're in the furry fandom and you like VRChat, learn how to texture avatars and how to work with Blender. Do that donut tutorial from the Blender guru. It's very, we talk a lot about that inside the Blender community, but it is an absolute great way to learn a new skill. And what's fun is that you can start taking commissions for custom avatars, and you could be making really quick, easy money.
That's a good point, though. That leads us into our next point. Any unusual skills or knowledge that you've gained through your interests. You gifted me last month another avatar, and it looks amazing. But you turned a Zeus canine into a fox.
That is not feminine. It's very masculine looking fox. That is not femboyish. I'm really proud of that.
Yes.
One. I gotta give credit to Craig. He's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Blender is fun. It can be a real nightmare to work with sometimes, and it's very annoying. There's a lot of shortcuts, but when you learn how it works, it is a very empowering feeling where your creativity is ultimately the limit. It's same as cooking. When you learn how to work with ingredients, spices, cooking times and everything, it gets really fun and empowering where you can imagine any sort of thing and you can just make it. That's really one thing I really love about 3D printing and 3D modeling. It's very useful for me, both as a business and avatar creator and making stuff for my friends as well. Even making this world, the studio world. What about you, Whiplash?
I can imagine with your vast knowledge of cars, being able to repair your own car. I mean, well, I take it back. It's not really cost effective. You've already sunk, $10,000 into it. So I wouldn't really call it cost effective. But you can do your own maintenance.
It depends. There's a difference between upgrading your car and repairing. I do my own repairs. I watch YouTube videos. Shout out to Chris Fix on YouTube. I do my own repair and I save a bunch of time and money, but it requires tools. But with the money you save, you can buy those tools. But when you start upgrading, that's where it gets expensive. And doing it yourself allows you to save a little bit of that money. Am I correct?
Let's see. With everything that I have done to my car, honestly, like if I were to take it to a shop or to my friend's shop where he works at and have him do it with their going rates, I probably would have spent, including the oil changes that I do myself, because I do mine every 3,500 miles on both cars, because I'm just very anal like that, honestly, because the more fresher the oil, the more longer the engine will last. That's all I can really say. I probably would have, at this point in time, spent about...
Chad is choking.
Probably
You okay?
$7,000 just in labor costs, because I can tell you right now, my parents, the car I have right now, my daily driver, my parents used to own it. Back then, they had to go get the radio changed out because it failed and the original one failed. Just for what they did back in the day, which is what I did at the same time, all they did was get a single DIN radio. They got the new dashboard to fit the radio and a microphone. And that's all they did. It cost them $1,000.
Oh my god.
I spent less than that on the speakers, the radio, the dash bin, the door, the dash itself, and putting the microphone up.
Yeah. If you can do stuff on your own, it's very fun. I highly recommend to anyone out there, if you want to learn a new skill, you have the power of the internet on your fingertips. So instead of stirring drama on the internet, find yourself a goddamn hobby and learn a new skill. And it feels so good to learn something new. Make a little bit of money out of it too. If you need to upgrade, your gear, your car, like my headset is all financed through making commissions. I used to make custom avatars. I made like 14 or 16 different Arcanines. I think learning a new skill set is real. Would you mind not kicking me, Jet? Okay. I think it's a really good thing. Learning a new skill set. If you don't know what to do with your life, try to get curious. Ask questions. See what people are doing. Go see them. Ask them how's it work? How do you get into it? You're going to feel a lot better, mentally speaking, and you're going to feel like you're actually doing something that is meaningful and has purpose, and it's going to bring you the sense of gratification. Instead of like looking to be popular or looking for attention, it's not a healthy way to recharge your personal mental batteries. Getting involved into a project that is very stimulating, where you feel great about doing, is a much better source of mental energy than any of these things out there. And I know because I've actually consulted for this. I was struggling to understand some part of me, and that's what I realized. Getting involved into hobbies is a really good way to stay healthy mentally.
I used to do a lot of TikTok. I used to have a lot of followers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's fun being noticed and everything like that. But it mentally drains you faster than anything else could drain in existence. Like,
it's very true. I second that.
It puts so much stress and like torture on your mind that, like, to me, like whenever I was doing streaming, doing TikToks and like trying to play games, try to get to know people, my social battery was drained so much. It started affecting my daily life. I didn't get to go see my friends as much, and then just step back from it. And now I'm just happy. I'm happy doing this, happy doing the podcast with you guys, happy doing my car stuff, hanging out with friends, talking with friends, like not on this game, but through social apps. But I have enjoyed just doing stuff that makes me happy, like the cars, cleaning, because it's a project that makes me mentally happy. Like doing this was fun, but it just, I don't know, like there's not many people, I feel like even people right now who does this just for a living, their social battery is just completely drained every single day. Like they don't really go out and do much after they get done streaming or to get done doing videos, or they just kind of sit at their house because they really don't want to go out and do anything. Like, that's kind of how I felt whenever I did it. So being like this big star that people know and you try to entertain, it sounds like a great idea in theory, but it's actually horrible in practice. It's just coming from how it reacted to me whenever I did it. Now, maybe not everyone's that way, but I highly doubt anyone is perfect that way, that they just love doing it. Because to be fair, a lot of people just put on kind of a facade to make them seem like they're happy doing it, which I'm sure they're happy entertaining people, but maybe deep inside, like, they'd probably rather do something else that's more meaningful and to them than just playing games all day and just trying to entertain, because like that in the long run it's just going to like kill your motivation to do it.
I very much agree with you. Like even me, when I spend time, I spend multiple hours a week on my Discord, and it's very active. There's a lot of people in there. They're interacting. They're talking to each other. Kit, you're very active on it too. It gets mentally draining. Even like making sure I'm keeping up to my friends to see if they're doing well, being there for them. Even that takes a lot of my social energy out. And I've realized I've been taking a lot of naps lately. And I thought it was because I was physically tired, but I found out, no, I'm mentally drained and I need to reset. Otherwise, I can't get anything done in the house. I'm not motivated to cook. I'm not motivated to go to the dog park. I'm not motivated to fix the car, to like anything. I'm just dead. So I had to figure out a way to balance things out. So people out there, if you guys are messaging me and I'm not responding, please don't take it personal. It's just I'm trying to balance everything in my life, and it's a really hard thing to do when you start being popular as a content creator. But your support is truly appreciated. It's very sweet. It keeps us going. I'll tell you that. It'll keep us going, but we might not have the mental energy to respond to all of you, but we keep thinking about you a lot. You are not being ignored.
We appreciate everything you guys do for us. Like I just said all that, but I really do enjoy doing this, honestly. But we also have a big team behind this production. It's just not me, Kit, Stream right here. We have Sakura, we have Lewis,
Phoenix.
We have Phoenix, Rhyker, we have a whole team behind this production. It's just not us three, because if it was just us three, you wouldn't be getting episodes every week, so all I can say.
Oh no. Oh no, this project would have been dead for a long time ago. I think we're anywhere from 20 to 28 people on this team. So there's a lot of people in the background. So big shout out to all of them out there. Lewis, our editor, Sakura has been doing fantastic work with the recording, Kolfy putting up the episodes. You know, there's I can't name everybody. It's going to take a lot of time, but shout out to you guys. You guys are freaking amazing.
Dude,
Absolutely.
Zimbo's has been killing it with our new TikTok edits.
Oh my god.
Oh
yes. Zembo's been doing amazing work.
Not the
It's
adorable
really funny.
Cracker Barrel tornado that you posted.
Oh yeah, I saw that video. So well put together. It's really funny because Zembos was starting like TikTok and everything, and he was kind of struggling. So he came to me and I gave him advice, and he actually listened to my advice, and his videos has been doing really well. And then he started editing for us. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like last time I spoke to you, your videos like quality were here, which was really good, like above average, like above most people out there. And then you go up here and you freaking go up here. Like I feel small compared to him. Like he freaking went on top of me. He's way better than I am as an editor, and he's been doing great work. So all of our latest TikTok videos are edited by Zembos. Our YouTube video has been videos are edited by Lewis. So yeah, thank you guys so much.
And just one more thing to add on to what Stream said. He's not wrong. If you guys, like some of you guys, if you actually did go out, find something you actually love doing that's not playing games and being online, trying to make friends, if you found a hobby that you really enjoy, maybe there would be less drama in this fandom, honestly. Because like almost every day, if you get on social media, it doesn't matter which one it is at this point, you get on any of them, there's just something every day comes across your Twitter page or Blue Sky or whatever you may have, and all it does is just bring like a cloudy sky above you. It's like, well, it's like I really don't give a shit about this, but I'm just really tired of seeing this because it's just an everyday thing, and it's always something petty. That's all it is. It's really nothing ever serious. It's just BS stuff. But honestly, if you got something that made you happy, you would probably be in a better mindset. That's all I can say. Because like ever since I've done less with social media and more with friends, this podcast, and my cars and friends and families, I've mentally gotten a lot better. Like it has improved dramatically. I couldn't tell you how much, but it's just been the best path I could take.
Yeah.
Find the thing that makes you happy.
Sadly, guys, we have to end this episode. I think all of us got very passionate about our hobbies and lately our life experiences. I would like to thank all of you for listening to this podcast. And we have a lot of stuff coming up on the upcoming week. We're very excited to show you what's coming up. We plan to bring and give more to our supporter and supporter plus. So thank you guys so much for your support, and we'll see you next week. Have a good night, have a good day, and take care. Enjoy life. Make it fun.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Yee. Oh my god, I was holding back that cough.
Oh my god. It's stream, guys.
Oh no, stream. Stream, me and you are in trouble.